What would you expect for intact tissue? What sort of compensation? What sort of...
Well, why don't you start by telling me what you're used to paying? So we had just started the conversation, and Susan was Clinic. They're a startup that they have been about a year in business. They're a for-profit company that's connecting researchers with people willing to donate tissue. Our volume, thank you for giving it to me, is 800 a year with 60 in the second trimester. And we just started to talk about how the process worked with Novogenics down in Los Angeles when I was there. And the mechanics of it was that Heather, Novogenics person, would come to the site, and our staff would sign the patients up and get consent, and then Heather would look at the tissue and take what she required. So it was logistically very easy for us. We didn't have to do anything. So there was compensation for this.
Scenes from the latest undercover video released today by the Center for Medical Progress with Miranda Kahn. J.D. Hayworth back with you on Newsmax Prime. This video allegedly shows a second Planned Parenthood senior executive negotiating the price of aborted fetal body parts.
JD, now there are growing calls from both parties for investigations to take place into Planned Parenthood and their practices. But is that all that needs to be done? Many are asking. For
more on this, we're pleased to welcome in Dr. Richard Land, president of the Southern Evangelical Seminary in Charlotte, North Carolina. Richard, we appreciate your time here on Newsmax Prime. And last week, when the first video was released, Planned Parenthood claimed the footage was fraudulent, that it was taken, quote, out of context. But now there is this second video. Does this second video prove it's within Planned Parenthood's priorities and culture to sell fetal body parts?
It certainly seems to, and according to the people who made the videos, they're going to have weekly installments. This is going to be a series. It's a series of the macabre and the grotesque and the ghoulish, and it shows the extent to which our society, having executed at least 57 million babies since 1973, has been desensitized and to some degree dehumanized. I mean, you realize these two women are not just senior executives with Planned Parenthood. They are medical doctors. These are people who have taken the Hippocratic Oath, and they are discussing the dismembering of human babies, the smallest and tiniest human beings, in various ways to preserve what they consider to be their most valuable parts, their brain tissue, their liver tissue, their kidney tissue, and commodifying them. You know, we've had one horrible experience in American history with the commodification of human flesh called slavery. Surely we don't want to go down that road again.
Dr. Land, as you just mentioned, the video's language seems to indicate a complete disregard for human life. Is this a crucial turning point, in your opinion, for supporters of the pro-life movement to stand up and take action against abortion?
I think it may be. I think that this may be the equivalent of Uncle Tom's Cabin. You know, when Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote that book, she put a human face on slavery. And Lincoln met her after the war had started. He said, well, I'm finally glad to meet the woman who wrote the book that started the war. I think that the American people may now be forced to confront the evil and the barbarity and the savagery of the pro-abortion movement. And adding salt to the wound is that they're taking $500 million of your tax money and my tax money to subsidize their nefarious activities.
Richard, Texas Senator and Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz spoke at the Family Leadership Summit in Ames, Iowa over the weekend. I was there, and we heard what he had to say on stage. Let's listen together, then we'd like to get your reaction.
Local prosecutors, attorneys general, and DAs should investigate the Planned Parenthood affiliates in their jurisdictions, and Congress should hold hearings, and we should cut off every penny of taxpayer funds.
Richard, 30 seconds. Do you believe Congress could be successful in cutting off taxpayer funds to Planned Parenthood?
Yes, I do believe they could, and force the president into either vetoing it or allowing it to become law. And I must say, as a fellow Texan and a fellow Princeton graduate, Senator Cruz is right on track. And if I were president of the United States, I'd make Senator Cruz my attorney general.
Well, as it stands right now, Dr. Land, you're president of the Southern Evangelical Seminary in Charlotte. Don't know if you're planning to run, but there are already 16 Republican candidates. In all sincerity, sir, we do thank you for your time and what you had to say. Now, we heard from Richard. What is your take on this? You can email us, Facebook us, tweet us, or use our website, newsmaxtv.com/comments. And we're coming back.